You might not see it, but it surrounds you like a light, makes you stronger for the fight. I'm never letting go, gotta learn to grow, watch me as I...
Hey everybody, this is Steve from DisneyInfinity.tv.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are here to do another phenomenal episode of Playset Potential Spoiler Cast. And this time we're doing it for the major blockbuster film that just came out this last weekend, Planes, Fire, and Rescue. So, what did we do last time? We did Kronk's Emperor's New Groove, and we had fun. We talked about the film. And for you guys new to the show, Sarah and I are going to spoil the film. So if you have any intention of seeing Planes, Fire, and Rescue, don't watch the show because we're going to give up the ending, character plots, everything. The whole thing is going to be spoiled out from here. So we're going to talk about the movie for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to go through and we're going to talk about Disney Infinity and how we think that Planes, Fire, and Rescue would fit into a world, and how we would make it work if it were up to us.
We're supposed to spoil it, aren't we? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that the plan? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Just want to make sure we're not breaking any rules.
No, we're not breaking any rules. If so, Will or Lloyd would have called me out on it. So anyway, the film came out this last week. It's less than a week old, and it's got... you want to talk about the movie?
Yeah, we probably should.
Go for it.
Oh, me? No,
Yeah,
I
you.
don't want to do it. You do it.
You don't want to talk about the movie?
No.
You saw it, though.
Was I there?
You sat right next to me.
Yeah, I was there.
Planes, Fire, and Rescue is the sequel to last year's Disney animation film, not Pixar, Disney animation, Planes. Now this one is the sequel, and you've got some of the same characters back in it. Dusty Cropphopper is back, voiced by Dane Cook, and this time, in the original one, he was a racing plane. And people didn't think he could do it because he was a crop duster, and it ended with him being a champion and everything like that. I don't hate these films like a lot of people do. I actually think they're kind of enjoyable and not horrible. There are way worse animated movies that come out.
Well, you always compare it to Cars 2, and that's probably...
I do compare it to Cars 2.
I mean, that's like... I don't mean, but that's like the lowest of the low. You're comparing it to pretty low.
I am comparing it to
So-
That's Pixar low, though.
This is... Okay, yeah. I mean, this is...
This is better.
Really similar, even though it's not Pixar.
Let me just point out real quick, I know we're not supposed to be just giving our opinions on what we think of it, but let me just tell you, because this is a controversial topic, because people love to hate this movie.
That's true.
These films, especially the one that we just saw, are better than almost every other animated movie I've seen this year because Pixar wasn't doing one. It's better than Despicable Me 2, I would say by far, but I really didn't like that movie. It's better than, what are those other ones, like Epic and The Croods, and pretty much anything DreamWorks has come out with. They're not good, but I'm still telling you, I think that they're better than most of the other movies that come out that are animated. I still think
I
that...
thought it was funny, so...
Yeah, we laughed. There was a
Yeah,
bunch of
we
times we
laughed.
were cracking up. So, anyway, let's continue on with the story.
Right.
In Planes, Fire, and Rescue, at the very beginning, Dusty is racing, again, and practicing for his racing, and then you find out that he has a broken gearbox. And this gearbox makes it so that he can't redline and go very fast. And whenever he starts to go fast, he has to pull back or else he will ruin his engine. And they can't replace it because he's an outdated model, and they no longer make this part of the engine anymore. Right?
Right.
Pretty accurate so far?
Yes.
So he's really depressed, accidentally gets into a situation and lights his airfield on fire. And the fire truck that's on station, because every airfield has to have a working fire truck, right? And his fire truck is old and can't do the job anymore, and his hoses are, what are they have holes in them or something? And he can't do it. So they're trying to figure out what to do. Do they close down the airstrip altogether, or they need a new fire person, whatever, and Dusty, since he now knows he can no longer race, volunteers to be the firefighter, so they send him to firefighter training. So he goes up into the woods of what they make it look like Yellowstone, and he's training with the other firefighters and learning how to do it. And this is what gets interesting, because in the movie, I didn't know, but there are a lot of big-name voices in this movie. Like, surprisingly, I didn't know any of them were in this until we got there.
They're
Who
the
are
one
they?
guy from Pixar, too. The one-
Ratzenberger's in it.
Yeah.
John Ratzenberger is in this, and I did not know
Small
that
part,
he was
but-
going to be in it. Yeah, he actually had some
You'll
lines, though.
definitely know the voice when you hear it.
Who are some of the other ones? Who's the one that you were talking about? Dipper is the girl from...
The girl from Modern Family, Claire, I forget her real name.
Okay, hold on a second.
her name.
I'm going to just read this off because I was shocked. You've got Dane Cook, Ed Harris, Julie Bowen is Lil Dipper. She's from Modern Family. Curtis Armstrong, he's that funny guy. But then you've got a ton of people. John Michael Higgins, Wes Studi, he's that Indian guy that's the Indian plane. He's helicopters. Chad Garrett is back again. Terry Hatcher. Let's see that Cedric the Entertainer. The list is really big. Regina King, Jerry Stiller, Fred Willard, and then we're going through the movie, and I'm having fun, laughing and stuff like that. And who shows up in the middle of the movie? Kronk! Patrick Warburton. Patrick Warburton is the voice of one of the funny fire trucky sort of guys up in the woods, and from that moment on, we were in. Because
if you saw the last episode, you know how much we love our Kronk.
We love our Kronk! So now that Kronk is in it, the whole movie is a little bit better than everything else, because he's hysterical, and honestly, it was pretty funny. He goes over there, he's learning, he's struggling, he still can't do all the things that he wants to do because of his gearbox problem, but he's training and learning. And there's a fire that starts, and the fire gets out of control up there, and there is a really big, it looks just like the resort at Yellowstone National Park, the Lodge, the really famous old one, and it's brand new, and they're having the opening, and all these rich cars are coming by, and it's a big celebration to open it up, and the fire's getting dangerously close, and they need somebody, so Dusty comes in and helps. He meets Jerry Stiller and somebody else, are these old couple, and they're of their RVs, and they're in the town to go find the spot where they first kiss, and they get lost, and they get stuck out in the middle of the fire. So it's up to Dusty and the other guy. On a bridge, yeah.
It's burning.
A burning bridge, and so it's up to Dusty and the rest of the crew to not only get everybody out of the fire, but also to come and rescue these two because they're stuck. And the guy that's training him is, what's his name I just mentioned, but he's like a salty, older helicopter guy. He sounds a lot like Doc Hudson from Cars. He's very reminiscent of Doc Hudson.
It's sort of like the same plot, too. He's supposed to be like a big actor where he saved people in shows and stuff like that. Sort of like how in Cars, where Doc was like a old racer and he was really good and he was a big deal. So it's sort of like the same thing. They kind of ripped it off a little bit, but
they took a very basic plot and did their thing. So that's kind of how it went down, I believe. And at the end, Dusty comes through, but severely hurts himself saving the two, and he falls into the water. And there's a whole thing. Is that right? And there's a Anyway, he's really hurt at the end, and so he's passed out, and then the really funny mechanic guy comes through, wakes him up, and he's like, hey, you were out for a while. I have bad news about your gearbox. We couldn't find a replacement because the one that you wanted is the wrong model. And but we rebuilt you. You're better than new. Dusty's back! So
with a new shade of red, because he's no longer orange.
Exactly. This is the Dusty that all of you know and love. And now he's red. And
so
he's
now
got
you
the
gotta
pontoons.
get new toys.
Yep, gotta stock up on your new planes toys.
Dusty's
so
dusty.
Dusty is very dusty. You can tell that these are not the most popular toys. El Chupacabra is not in this movie, which is good because he really annoyed me in the first one, but the toy is out here to represent planes. So anyway, Sarah, what did you actually think of it? If you had to rate it, what would you say? Do you have anything to say?
Like what, 1 to 10 or?
Give it like a 4 stars being perfect.
We had the Flixster thing. I rated it like, was it 1.5, 2? I think I gave it 2.
So below
2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. I gave it.
So below acceptable on the lower end.
I mean, I definitely would have given Cars 2 like a lower, but it wasn't terrible. Maybe 2.5. I think I gave it. I don't know, just because we laughed and we liked a lot of people in it, and it was kind of fun, like trying to figure out whose voice was who. That was cool.
Which is usually a sad thing for any Disney one. If the whole film you're trying to remember whose voice is who, and you're laughing at all the famous voice people. I figured it out in the middle,
so cleared that pretty fast.
But you have to give them credit. Unlike DreamWorks movies where it says Nicolas Cage and blah, 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 and all these people, they don't say any of the names. But then when you watch it the whole time, you're like, I know all of these people. So they do it in good Disney fashion where they actually try to make the film more important than celebrities doing the voices. But
that's true.
And out of 5 stars, I gave it a 3. Slightly over average. I didn't mind it at all. I laughed. And to be totally honest, if it was on like HBO or something tomorrow, I would probably sit down and watch it again. I don't know if I would buy it. No, that's completely inaccurate. I would buy it because I own every movie that Patrick Warburton's been in pretty much, and Kronk's voice is going to live on for me, so I would buy it. I didn't mind it at all, and it's a lot better than the first one, I think.
I think you gave it a 2.5. I never saw the first one, so I can't really compare it to the first one. So
good. You saved yourself some time.
The
first one wasn't bad, but it just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? But that's what you get for these sort of ones. Interesting side note before we go on to the thing. At the very end of the credits of the first Planes, the big logo came up and said, Dusty will be back next summer in Planes, Fire, and Rescue. So they showed that at the end of the credits of the first one. So the first day when that one came out last year, you knew there was going to be a sequel, right? We stayed after to see the credits for this, and there was none. So
There was a little like clip, I think, right?
I don't even remember if there was a funny clip. Was there something at the very end?
There was a clip. Yeah, it was with the white car that was kind of mean, and he was talking about, I don't remember what it was, but he was like an advertisement or something. It was like not even worth the wait, but
Okay.
they didn't say that there was going to be another sequel. It was just like a tiny clip.
Wow, see, I don't even remember that. I purged that from
can't
my
remember.
memory. But anyway, yeah, nice and done. But I guess there is a clip at the end if you're going to see it, but they don't say there's going to be another one next year. So I don't know what the plans are for the Planes franchise, but let's...
They could have like signed a contract the first time saying we're going to have a second one definitely, and this
Right
time
away.
it was like whether or not enough people saw it.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe they filmed them together, at the exact same time.
That's
just,
true.
I don't really know.
Had
But,
an idea going already.
Let's segue
All right.
that, Sarah, into
Into
Disney
Infinity,
Infinity. So we
which
don't know
we're
if there'll
supposed
be
to talk
another
about.
film, but what if they were going to make that an Infinity set?
Yes.
Do you have any ideas, or do you want me to start? Let me guess. You want me to start so that you can rob my ideas and say that they were yours to start off with?
Oh, this is how it's gonna be. This is good. They're gonna write about this too. No, I'm gonna go first, and
Okay.
then you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is such a good idea." But I
Sarah
was
can
thinking
go
the
first.
same thing.
All right, go for it.
Now, I think it's gonna be a lot like the Cars stuff, where you have like the attachable missiles and stuff like that. Even though that's not in the movie whatsoever. I mean, what else are you gonna have? Like water falling out? I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure. I thought it would be more of like a competitive thing. Like maybe they'll have some kind of like, you know how there's like a racetrack and things. Maybe they'll have something in the sky where they have like rings,
Exactly.
that kind of thing. Oh, you were thinking that too, or
Yeah,
maybe
of
you were
course I
thinking that
was.
first. And I
Well,
stole
let me
it.
embellish. Okay, so if we're talking a play set, I love the idea of pretty much mimicking the Cars world into Planes. Now, you can have a bunch of different things, and it would be a side story. He's a firefighting plane now. So you can always have the plot story being more fires. They have to continue more fires. There's more people out there that need to be saved. Now he's an expert. He's working with these other ones, and he's doing it. But good for the Planes franchise is he also now is a super fast former racer. So you can always throw into the fact that it's not just scooping up water and dropping it on the right spots. He can also do racing stuff. And it can be get to this place in, on easy in 35 seconds. Get to this place in 25 seconds.
Challenges
and then 20.
would be
The
easy
challenges
'cause it
would
would
be
be
absolutely.
racing, obviously.
Now, I would like the mechanic of the flying cars, the planes, versus the driving cars, because I like that whole idea. But I don't know if you've ever played that Wii Sports 2, the new one, Wii, whatever it's called. Anyway, it's the second Wii one, Wii Resort. And there's the one where you just literally fly over the whole island picking up and shooting bubbles. That's pretty much the same thing. And the whole time you're just flying around, and the gameplay is very calm, but it's up and down and around terrain and stuff like that. I think that if Infinity took something like that and implemented it with these recognizable characters, you have a lot of characters that you could make figures off of, a lot of characters to interact with, and I think it would be really great. You could have racing, you could have firefighting, and the main premise of the storyline would just be continued on. Now that Dusty is a trained firefighter, and they got the lodge fire put out, he's going to continue on. There's more firefighting, so that's
While
how it
racing.
goes. Yeah, absolutely. He needs to race to get there. So I think that it would make a good play set post the film, as far as just the storyline going, just basic firefighting.
What what do you think would be like powers? Or
Really good.
add-ons. Because I like I said, the missiles, but that doesn't have anything to do with the story.
So, first of all, let's talk about characters. You gotta have Dusty.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's other planes. There's the big
We're just
giant
doing the
one.
second movie, right?
Just the
Fire and
second
Rescue.
one. We're just gonna do
Good.
Fire and Rescue. The second one, there is another character. It's a giant plane where the little cars get inside of him. Not a very good character. Doesn't have enough lines. And you can't have a Cars character driving around, because you can't, that wouldn't make sense. You're
It's
going to
not
have one
planes.
driving around. It's got to be a plane
They
character.
need to have,
The guy that plays the main guy, the guy I call Doc, because he's pretty much a ripoff of Cars.
Blaze, something Blaze.
Let's
right?
see here. Yes. He is a helicopter. His name is Blade Ranger.
Oh, that's cool.
He's the main guy that's training him. He would be a good character, and I also think
He would
that
be good.
Julie Bowen's character of Little Dipper,
That'd be
she
cute.
would be good because she's a fixed wing plane. It would be good for racing and stuff like that. And I would say you top out at 3 characters on this. Me personally, it would be Dusty, Dipper, and then the helicopter. All the other people I would say are meaningless and don't really have big enough roles to be, very entertaining in the game. You can have all of them racing and stuff like that against you and helping you, but I don't really think that
like
it would
little
be.
townspeople that come up and be like,
Absolutely.
hey, there's a fire, and then you have to go. And
Yeah, go help Dipper's friends do this or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I might add Dipper only just because I'm thinking of Cars where there was Holly Shiftwell, and she kind of reminds me of her. So I would put her in, but if she wasn't, I could see her as being in like one of the side characters where you go up and then she'll do like missions, and then she'll be all cute, and then she'll be like, bye boyfriend, and then you leave, and be that kind of thing. But her as a character would be kind of like Holly Shiftwell, and I love Holly Shiftwell as playing as her in Cars. So
and her voice character is hysterical in the movie. She's actually really funny. She's got funny lines.
Really good in that because I like the things that she says. It's adorable.
You could almost even do it to where there were only 2 characters in this one as well. You could do just those 2.
That's what I was thinking.
And because they're both fixed wing, so they both have a similar flight mechanic. If you had a helicopter and it's a little bit different, they don't fly as fast. I mean, you could cheese it out and make it fly similar, but a fixed wing plane like this together is much easier than if you had a helicopter. So you could even go with just 2. They work for Lone Ranger. There's only 2 in that set, and most people think that it's one of the best sets that you can play. So I think that it could work. So if anything, I would say I'm kind of with you. I would go with the 2 fixed wing ones. Now powers. This one I think is interesting because if you had discs,
it's not really a magical movie. That's why it's like
absolutely.
That's what it's hard to think of. Now hold on, quick question: would he be red or orange? Because
He'd be red.
He wouldn't be
this
red.
Would, in my playset idea, this would be right after Planes, Fire, and Rescue, and he'd be red.
Okay, that
and
makes sense.
And it would be red, and he wouldn't have landing gears. He'd have the pontoons where he lands on the water to scoop up water.
I think he should red just because that would be like a simple. That would be the second movie.
Yes, absolutely.
So, okay,
I like
that. Sorry, back to your powers.
No, that's good. So I think that one of the ones would be a power disc for bigger loads of water.
Okay.
Instead of you can drop 5 gallons, and you have to make 4 loops. You now get 10 gallons, and you only have to make 2.
I thought of that first.
Bigger fuel tanks. Was it your idea?
No.
You're stealing my thoughts. Thought thieves! I've been incepted. So I think that something like that, or you could also do fuel tanks. Bigger fuel tanks. It could be where every 5 minutes of flying, you have to land and get fuel or something like that. And the same thing goes where you get added fuel. You can also do one more that's the exact same thing, and it would be just pretty much you could go lower to the fire. Because they can't get super low down because the flames are big. It would be a more invulnerability or whatever it's called, and you could get lower down to the fire and get a little bit closer.
Okay. I still can't think of powers, but like a cool environment would be like the lodge area where it's like the foresty, and then they have the lodge, and then they have.
If you're gonna have like a playset sky and thing, that'd be great because
I can only think of like the lodge and the foresty, and they have the bridge and that whole thing. That'd be really cool.
The forest, it would be.
You have to fly under the bridge.
Yeah.
Just like the movie.
See, now that's where it would be interesting is because once you add flying characters, you have to add elevation stuff, or else it's just going to be boring flying around.
Yeah.
So if you had a toy box playset, a lot of the things you're going to have to be able to put in the sky. You could put ramps in the sky right now, but it would be completely stupid. Right now, it doesn't work, but if you had planes characters, it would. You could add the rotating fire circle, and you could actually have to do it. You could make a racetrack in the sky, and that would also play with other characters that, if you had jetpack stuff or whatever, but both basically for them. Or any people flying on a Dumbo or something like that.
You have people jumping on top of it, like Cars, where they can
ride on the back.
Yep. That would be really cool.
I do like that. That's cool. I like that idea of the toy box playset. The sky portion would be forest, kind of like what you see in the movie, but more like a Yellowstone. Pine trees, big pine trees with fires. So the sky would be more orangey. It wouldn't be blue and sunny. It would be darker with fire pieces going and stuff like that. You'd have the lodge on the one side, and then on the other side you'd have the bridge. And then the land piece that you would get, just sort of dirt, right?
Yeah.
Dirt and some trees and that sort of texture.
Like a lot of movies just have the same bottom. It's just dirt. There's not really...
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter either. The Wall-E one is pretty much just like yellow slabs and tire tracks, so it doesn't really matter. I think that the sky is the most important part. So I kind of like that. So would you get... Those would be power-ups. Do you have any discs? Could you come up with a disc if you were going to get in a blind pack? What would be a prize disc? Something that you could use for any character when you're playing. So like right now, you can get the, except for, see the problem with these would be the same restrictions as cars. You could put Carl's cane on the thing right now, but you can't use that in cars. You can't, in a toy box, put lightning and use a weapon. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
I think this would be exactly like Cars, except the planes.
You would have to be.
Like the movies are. But, yeah, they would be similar to the Cars, having the same stuff. You could only use the car stuff with the plane stuff.
Yep.
And then, the same thing, and then people stuff would have their own stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it... Stuff. I think that's pretty much accurate, just because that's kind of how it goes. You can't really have mixing worlds with people and walking around with giant mechanical things just like in Cars. So if you keep it separate like in Cars and have it the same sort of interactions, I think you can do it pretty well. Yeah. Just imagine the Cars world up in the sky, and firefighting being like the main goal. You can always have weapons. Like in Cars, you have the missiles and the mines that you shoot out. You can do the same thing. You can always have weapons. Like in Cars 2, they did shoot stuff, so that kind of made sense. And here, they don't really blow people up, but you could always have it dropping water on each other, shooting water bombs.
That would be cool.
You could
someone flying underneath, you drop water.
Drop it.
Pushes. It's sort of like when cars, bump them off.
Absolutely.
That would be cool, and the water just kind of hits them down.
You could mist behind them, and planes spin out if they were racing behind you or something like that. Anything that's super like that, not as violent-y, kind of thing. No necessarily weapons, just different things you could do with water. But other than that, I think you're kind of limited.
Yeah.
So if you take it into consideration that this would be similar to the Cars world, I think you have really good potential.
Yeah.
So.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
All right. I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was another stimulating and fascinating
banter
playset potential spoiler cast for Planes, Fire, and Rescue. What are we doing next? Oh, we got requests. I'm sorry.
We did?
We did.
Oh, because people liked us for some reason.
People did like us.
For some reason.
Not because of you.
No.
No, they liked it because of what I bring. Professional shirts.
I'm wearing the shirt too. I'm wearing the shirt too.
Yeah, but I wear it better. Come on. No one believes that. That was a complete joke.
I didn't even believe it.
No, of course not. I didn't believe it. But we did get 2 requests. Someone requested Aladdin, and someone requested WALL-E. I think both of those are really interesting to talk about. And there is a gap.
I like my Aladdin.
We could do one. We have 2 weeks between now and when Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, which is going to be interesting because we all know the rumors that there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy playset. So it's going to be weird to do this movie.
It's sort of like predictions.
It's going to be more like a prediction, and we'll have to see how that works. Prediction podcast starring Sarah and Steve.
Yeah, because I wear the shirt better.
That's right. And so we'll do that, but we'll hit up WALL-E or Aladdin as one of the next ones then. I like the idea of doing WALL-E a lot.
I like Aladdin.
You like Aladdin?
I like Aladdin.
All right, you want to shoot for it? Rock, paper, scissors, best out of 3?
No, I suck at rock, paper, scissors.
Well, then we're going to do it. I don't know how you suck at rock, paper, scissors, but that's how it's going to go.
Because I have terrible luck, that's why.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then we throw down.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're not going to go too early. Okay. You win, and it's Aladdin. I win, and it's WALL-E.
Don't we have, more? Can't we do Aladdin, then WALL-E or something?
Yeah, but we're doing which one goes next.
Oh, I don't care which goes next. Fine,
well, let's just do it anyway.
Just
okay, ready?
Competitive.
1, 2, 3.
What is that? Wait. You said 1, 2, 3, go.
All
right,
know what?
Screw it.
All right, so next one we're going to do is going to be Up, and, just kidding. We'll do Aladdin next because I screwed up the rock, paper, scissors. We did have another request that we were going to reenact scenes with the Planes characters, and that's from some ridiculous guy.
Wait a minute, what?
Some guy that listens to the show and watches it every week. I like turtles. I love turtles. He recommended that we do.
Weird.
He is weird. So, I'm Dusty, and I am a firefighter with a broken gearbox. Are you going to talk? You have to make your character talk.
No, I don't know this guy. I never saw the first one.
Well, make one up. Pretend that's Dipper.
No.
Okay, you're killing my playset reenactment.
I blame I like turtles.
I blame I like turtles too. Anyway, I'm Steve C from DisneyInfinity.tv, and
I'm Sarah from the same show that he can't say.
I can't. At least I could say Maleficent right. So there we go.
And I can't. Maleficent.
No, because Will, that one show.
All right, never mind. Banter.
Banter. Thank you, you guys. We'll be back again. Hopefully, if you like any comments, make sure you email the show or something like that. Listen to the new shows, which are Monday at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. This will come out afterwards, but I'm really excited. Tonight we're recording the anniversary show, so that'll be really cool. But if you guys have anything you want to hear, more suggestions,
More requests.
Email the show, which I don't know the email address, but I'm sure you can find out. Or you could tweet me. My name is @Steven Krellin, StevenCrellin, and I can harass Will and Pirate to see if I'm allowed to do it, or Jason, or Lloyd. Those guys are awful. All of them.
They're gonna cut this out.
You know, Outside Infinity is way better.
I don't know.
We should just do our own show
I'm
and
part of
take
this
over.
one. Oh, you plotting against them?
Ours will be at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time every Monday, and people are gonna have to come and watch ours first.
Okay.
She's not gonna be a part of it. She doesn't share my enthusiasm. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next time, and I hope you didn't hate our show.
Sweet.
Never let go, gotta learn to grow. Watch me as I touch.
Oh, place that potential.
What's that potential?
Got it.
All right, well, we're back, and all of our funny banter is done. Are you ready?
We missed all of it. Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying it to myself so that Will can hear it and we can start on time.
I'm waiting for you.
You waiting
asked
for
me
my
if I
cue?
was ready, and I
All
said
right.
yes like 3 times.
It's a potential. DisneyInfinity.tv.
That's so funny.
All right. We're such professionals. Okay.